Is it Chandra?
I am in.
No. Okay, let's see who joins. We've had Steve Pereira here now for a couple of meetings. See if he joins today.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you. You hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you now. Sorry, I had my headphones misconfigured.
Okay, I heard you all the time. So maybe we could wait another minute or two. It might be so that it's only you and I. I can share. It's not that I prepared a lot to bring up today anyway. Yeah, it's going. So you see my sharing, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah, good. We have an old action from previous meetings that I should have done for last meeting, but I'm not sure if it's a very big rush anyway. As you know, from the TOC, we are expected to provide some information from the project, and I have that on my to-do list to prepare that. The status updates of the project, so to say, which we should provide. I know that not too many other projects have done it either, but of course that shouldn't be an excuse for us not doing it. So we should do it. And apart from that, you already know, of course, from the CDF Events workgroup, we have got a lot of good input there from CDCon that you provided there. I just linked the minutes. And then from the TOC, I think you and I should then drive this about the nominations about the TOC representative from CDF Events. And of course, we can briefly just mention that now as well here. I think it's good that you will be nominated for Tecton if that's the case. And then I could be the nominee from CDF Events. I'm not sure if we should have a proper election in the project or if we should propose that to the community and see if anyone has other opinions on it. What do you think? Should we make some kind of elections internally in CDF Events, or is it fine that we nominate either you or me, depending on the Tecton nomination?
Yeah, I think the recommendation from the TOC is it's not mandatory, but the recommendation is to nominate someone from the governing board of the project. But yeah, so I mean, we could just maybe discuss it within the project governing team.
And who is that? Apart from you and me, really? Yeah, I mean,
But I think it's
I mean, we don't have a proper governing board for city events at the moment. Yes, the only thing we have is the bootstrap committee, which is the SIG Events group, which is shared by you and me. So
yeah, exactly.
but I think we should anyway make it visible. So before we nominate us, we should put it out there on Slack and maybe on the mail list as well to just show that this is what we intend to do and then collect any input from anyone, of course. So we make it possible for people to react on it anyway.
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good. I guess is it today the last day, or is it the first day?
Today is the first day, actually.
Okay.
And there is still no issue written. It should be, as I understood it, there should be an issue written in the foundation repository.
Okay.
Which is not there yet, but it should be created today according to the process.
Okay.
So the process says here that nomination opens, start nominating their candidates in the GitHub CDF Foundation repo, and it says somewhere down here the link to it as well. There you go. They should become available on May 22nd, so it should become available today, but I guess that could be US time, so we shouldn't expect it to be there already now. But before tomorrow morning, European time, I guess it should be there.
Yeah.
So I guess we could talk about it on the TOC tomorrow as well, because then it should for sure be there, I expect.
Okay, sounds good.
And then I guess the TOC should maybe push all projects again to nominate their candidates.
Yeah.
So that's maybe something for the TOC agenda for tomorrow. Okay, then I added this bullet about the interoperability with VSMI, because I had hoped to see Steve here today. He's not here. So, but maybe then instead we could just have a quick look at what was discussed 2 weeks ago, since you were not on the meeting then. So Steve showed this deck that he has shown again before. I think you've been in one of those meetings where he showed this some time ago. At least some of these slides were provided in the first meeting he attended in SIG Events, and I think you were there.
Yeah.
But then I think he had added some more slides in the end of this slide deck. Let's see where we were. Yeah, we discussed the scope of VSMI or VSM versus CD events quite a lot. And well, I think the conclusion was that it's not really that CD events is totally included within VSM. There is an overlap between the two scopes, but it might be so that CD events has some use cases which VSM is not as interested in. So, for example, let's see if I think I have it in the minutes a bit. So VSM is about inspecting how a system of work, I mean, how a service that is running is evolving over time with added value and how the users react to that value and so on. So it's of course a loop of feedback. So you implement something, you deploy it, and then the user react to it, and then you re-implement things, and you constantly evolve it. So that's the focus of VSMI or VSM, while CI/CD is more seeing how each of these individual pipelines behave, maybe how the pipelines themselves behave over time. So what are the trends of the DORA metrics, for example, might not be too interesting for VSM, but it is for CI/CD to see how the CI/CD system evolves over time, how if the pipelines start getting slower, or if we get feedback earlier, and such things. So there are some things that we have in the CI/CD scope for CD events, which might not be too relevant for VSM. So that's what we wrote here. CI/CD data is probably not a pure subset of VSM data. It's a lot of the CI/CD data is a subset, but not all of it, I would say. And there's more in the recorded discussion there, if we want to look back to that. So that was a very quick summary. So
Thanks.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's one the thing maybe here. So VSM is interested in historical data, while CD Events is interested both in historical data, for example, visualization and metrics, but also for real-time data for triggering things. And VSM is not too much interested in triggering actions based on the data that comes through the value stream pipeline, but rather historical trends on the evolution of the system itself. So I think that was quite a good clarification that we can bring to coming discussions. I'm not sure from our perspective if we should do some more work on this internally in CDF or CD events, if we could afford to do it resource-wise. The charter, for example, I'm not sure if I haven't been involved in updating it myself. I think that was it you or Fatih who did maybe the first part of the CD events information in it. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think Fatih already.
Yeah. Let's see if we have it in an older. This is a proposed chart. So I think because there is some mentioning about CD events in here, I believe. And yeah, CD events SIG goal. Or maybe this was actually written by VSM themselves, copying from our page, or yeah. Anyway, we should probably review this and work on this a bit. And of course, we could do some work without having Steve in the call as well. So if you think that's valuable, we could spend some time on that now. I don't have any good ideas really on what to do with it, and maybe it's not efficient enough to read it together on the meeting here. What do you think?
I think there were some questions at the end, but those I think maybe we can discuss. It's best to discuss in the meeting together with Steve, because I guess we need things that we need to discuss together, agree together what we want to set things up.
Yeah.
Or
I guess there is a risk of initiatives like this that it's just poured out in the sand and nothing happens really. and there is a summer coming quicker than we expect. the vacations and things. So in order to not just lose the momentum of this, I'm not sure if we could really push for something, or if you should call for a dedicated meeting on it with Steve, or maybe try to meet separately in some other time slots.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could, to avoid waiting another 2 weeks, or we could ping Steve and see what he thinks. If he wants to have a dedicated meeting about this, we can, for sure.
Yeah.
So we can agree. I guess it's yeah, we would need then to make a plan, I think, together. What is it that we want to do, and I mean, who can do, who can work on what, so we have a more concrete plan.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, it doesn't just stay there, but we actually gain something from the collaboration.
So should we propose to, we can wait 2 weeks and see if Steve joins our next SIG Events meeting, and if not, we should try to set up a dedicated meeting for this purpose. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Oh, we can. I'm not sure if this slot typically works for him. I think last time he joined, but I'm not sure if it's good in general or not. We could.
I've been here twice now, so I think it's not too bad. But maybe today he had some other business to act on. I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
He didn't say anything last time that he could not join today, as I remember anyway. But I can maybe reach out to him and see if he thinks it's okay to join our next SIG meeting, or if we should plan for something else.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. That sounds good.
I will do that. Let's see where we are. Yeah. So I'll do that separately. Then I just reflected a bit on our POCs, or our old POC.
Yeah.
Very outdated nowadays. I know that if it was Jalander or Adam or someone who intended to lift it to the latest version, I guess they're waiting for the Java SDK to come to 0.3 as well before, because some of the components might be dependent on the Java SDK, at least the Spinnaker one. And of course the Spinnaker implementation itself. I'm not sure if we could of course make a fork the POC to some other aspect of it. I got this idea when talking to Brad over lunch now on our other meeting, that maybe we should have some POC with GitHub Actions and maybe Tecton and maybe some other system for a simple setup, as we discussed there. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there, when is the next occasion to show CD events? Is it on the CD mini summit in Bilbao? If it should be.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there may be things earlier than that. I don't know, but I think that's the earliest one that I have.
Oh, you're planning to go there, by the way. Do you have such plans already? Or?
I do plan to be there. Yes. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think it's quite likely.
Yeah. I haven't asked my managers yet if I'm able to go or not. So, but I think it might be good to meet there, even though it's just half a day. But of course, we could meet more during the week if needed as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean for the POC, yeah, I was hoping to do something before CDCon, but there was really not enough time. But yeah, so I think it would be nice to have like POC with Tecton and Spinnaker. Yeah, and once we have a GitHub action, we could do like GitHub action and Tecton. We could probably work with the test kit team to have something with test kit as well. So maybe we can try and have a kind of framework we can use for buildings. Some example integrations, yeah. We should definitely, I think, I would aim to try and have something that includes all the tools that we have some integration in. So if JReleaser eventually picks up CD events as well, then we could have a POC with that as well, and so forth and so forth. Yeah. And hopefully, I mean, ideally, if you're able to build it based on the CD events data model alone, then once we have the framework in place, we should be able to, switch between tools seamlessly or almost seamlessly, which is also maybe nice to show. So if we have like a GitHub adapter and a GitLab adapter, then we could be able to show like the same POC starting from a repo on one SCM or the other SCM, or maybe even combined.
So one idea based on that is something like this. I think this is in line with what Brad said this earlier today. We could initially have just a GitHub Actions pipeline so that all events are sent from that GitHub Actions pipeline itself. And make sure that it sends both the source change events and the pipeline run and task run on those events, and also some test events. And then we could break out the pipeline part from it, including the test events, to a Tecton pipeline. And don't change anything on the consumers then. So to show the interoperability use case there, that the consumers don't need to know what is the pipeline engine. And then thirdly, we could break out the test executions to test cube, and still with no change to the consumers. I think that would be quite a good use case. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. So So consumers, yeah, would be like visualizer, Dora calculator, okay, raw event viewer, yes. Yeah, so that's
And maybe deployer as
I
well.
think,
You could have as
yeah.
well. Yes.
No, I think that's good. I mean, the initial POC was more on the use case of like using one tool to trigger the other tool.
Yeah.
And I think it might be good to update that one as well, but we can definitely have something like this. So I had an initial POC that I worked on in terms of Dora metrics using some tools to produce data.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we can also use some of that maybe.
Is that something that you and Eric did for the, was it KubeCon last year or was it in Valencia, right?
Yeah.
Or,
So, yeah. But the only outcome, I guess, of that was events. So I didn't have like an event store yet or anything to visualize the events. I just had a way to produce the events and show that we had events for the different stages, basically. But yeah.
I wrote this also in the notes here before the meeting started. Because that also was, that triggered my thoughts on our meeting before today. When someone wanted, was it Fidelity who wanted to trigger on things that end up in the store? Evident store was it called?
Event.
Evidence store.
Evidence store. Yes,
Yeah.
evidence store.
And to me, it sounds like you would like to subscribe to a certain state of your system. That is, a number of events has come to the store or has been, I mean, not just one event, but a series of events have occurred. And therefore you could, at least how I see it, that would be like an event aggregation service that you could set up subscriptions towards. So I think their use case was that they don't want to listen to the broker directly, but instead listen to the store somehow, right? Which I interpret them as some kind of subscription. So they get notified when a certain group of events have occurred.
Yes, I'm not sure what the architecture exactly it is that is used today, but so I don't know if it's a subscription notification system or if it's some system that, I don't know, polls the data, or yeah, I don't know how that is designed by different end users specifically. That's maybe something we can chat further with Brett, for instance.
Was it Fidelity or from, or is that SAS or was it Brett?
I think both Fidelity and SAS similar. So Brett, I think he made some presentation about what they did, what they do with events some time ago. And he mentioned that they basically have the ability to aggregate multiple events and, you know, wait until a certain status is reached before triggering something. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, Jamie from Fidelity had mentioned that they also do something similar, so they don't react directly to events, to single events to do something, but they rather add things into what they call evidence store. And then, yeah, take decision based on that.
Is it Brett? Is it spelled like this, or how is it spelled? You know?
I think it's double T.
It's a double T. I didn't think it looked good, but maybe it does. Yeah. Yes. Let's see. Yeah, Brett Smith. Yeah, double T. And Jamie, is it Jamie Flower? No.
Yeah, Jamie Powell. Yeah.
Good. So how should we do this in practice? Should we set up an issue for it and involve them in that issue, or by the way, we don't have a proper POC repository in CD Events, do we?
Not yet, no.
So the old POC is still in the old SIG Events repo, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no POC repository.
No, we haven't created yet because we haven't worked on one yet in the new. Yeah, I guess we could even.
We have this already. So in the community repo, we have such issues today.
Yeah. I mean, we could even create one repo per POC. Doesn't have to be.
Yeah, we could. So here is, oh, that's not true. Why didn't that work? There is that issue. Wait. So we should write another issue for this then. Can we do it right away? And invite them to help out then. Something. No. Do you know their GitHub handles?
I'm not sure, but we can maybe share it on Slack.
Yeah, we could start with that. I don't do it this way. It's better to do it on Slack. This is very thin yet, but anyway. Do we have POC as a label? We don't, right? No. Yeah. Can quickly share it on Slack then. So, oops, I should have the link as well. There you go. Okay. So it's done. Anyway.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for waiting. Okay, about the other POCs then, this one that we talked about on the CD Events meeting earlier today. The second one is maybe sub that. Should we write a similar issue for this, or maybe put it on, or we should put it on Brad, but we could ask him.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it makes sense to have an issue to track it, and then we can collaborate in it.
Yeah. I guess that could be part of the GitHub Actions work that is already ongoing, but something like that. You resonate with that description?
Sounds good. Thanks.
Hey, some progress anyway. And then about the DORA metrics, should there be an issue for that as well, or you think it's enough with this repo here, or
Trying to remember if I had. I mean, there was an issue. Let me check if there is still, because I think I closed some part of it at least. No, we still have one open. Barometric proof of concept. Yeah.
where was that in the?
It's in the spec repo. It's issue number 44. Well, I can move it across actually.
Maybe it makes more sense to have it in the community repo if it's a POC.
Yeah, so the other ones are in the community, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll transfer it. Sorry. Yeah.
Will you transfer it or should I do it? Or
I transferred it already.
you did it?
So,
Good.
There you go.
Great. And this is, yeah, great.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the part of 4 keys is still going to happen.
Is
Because
4
we
keys
try.
still alive, or I haven't heard much about 4 keys lately.
Yeah, so we tried reaching out to Dave, David, both myself and Mauricio, but we didn't get any further reply. So, but regardless, I think
Wasn't Kara involved in that as well somehow some time ago? Maybe she isn't anymore.
yeah, I don't think it is.
No. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, regardless of the 4 keys, I mean, we can demonstrate collecting data and extracting metrics, and it can be Dora metrics, it can be further metrics. I think in general the setup is the idea is that we have tools that span across the various event buckets, so you can collect in all the stages, and then you can correlate the issues with each other, the events with each other.
Yeah. Yes. Good. Yeah, so we have a lot of good ideas. Now we need time to be able to work on them as well.
Yeah.
That's the harder part, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, the ideas are jotted down now. So if we should leave the POCs there, is there anything else we should sync on? Was there any actions from the CDCon that we should somehow drive, either in the CD Events project or in SIG Events? There sounded to be a lot of good initiatives to introduce CD Events in different projects. Is there some demo we should ask for, or some discussion with some certain group, or Argo CD, for example? Should we invite the Argo community to one of our meetings to talk?
I think we had a presentation from Argo Events in the past. But you know, what I can do, what I plan to do for sure is to reach out to Michael. They met at CDCon and see if there is any progress in the proposal that he wanted to make, and how we can collaborate as communities. Right? So.
Yeah, we did talk to Argo. Was it the guy from Argo Rollouts, right? When we were in Amsterdam.
Yeah, Yeah.
recall. And I think he might not have been the right guy to talk to when it comes to event integrations, because it might not be to, I mean, Argo rollouts might not be the first project to integrate it in. And CD then is one more interesting project maybe. But I think Argo events and also Argo workflows would be interesting to look into a bit more. But what did we say there? Didn't we say that we should reach out to one of them? Or we should, okay, he asked us to join their meetings, didn't he? Or someone bring the topics to their Argo community meetings.
Yeah, that's right.
So how can we make that happen? Do they have a public calendar of their meetings somehow?
I think so. But I need to look it up.
I found this link on their Slack channel, on Argo events Slack channel. Oh, okay. So they have this link there, but apparently they don't use it anymore. Sounds like a good idea anyway. I'm not sure if they have a general Argo channel. I only see the specific Argo project channels. Let's see. I should have. A lot of Argo channels. Oh. Argo announcements. Doesn't look like there is a general Argo project channel in Slack. So what do they say on Argo product? What is it? What is that Argo Pro? Is it? Where is their main homepage?
I mean, there is Argo CD, Argo workflows, Argo
Yeah,
rollouts, Argo contributors.
Oh, this might be the general GitHub page, but okay, this is probably the one. So if there is a community, no, it's not. Okay.
No, but it's, yeah. If you click on the join Slack, there is a list of channels there.
By the way,
In the top right.
in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of these, yeah. Yeah, I think I found these channels, but they're all dedicated to specific parts of the project. There are no, but of course we can reach out to each of them. Or Argo CD we already have a contact with. So maybe it's Argo workflows or Argo events next. Or CD notifications actually is. Oh, that might be related to Argo CD then. Yeah, whatever. Maybe we should start with the Argo CD contact that we have now, and take it from there and see how we expand it. I guess Michael or whoever it was has also kind of connections internally into the other Argo projects that we can talk to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Good. So good. So did you say you had contact already with someone you wanted to talk to more, or should we do something jointly? You're muted.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had a chat with Michael on there in person CityCon, so I want to try and ping him and see where things are.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if we what we can do to collaborate as communities in general. Because as you said, there are potential interactions with different projects. So maybe we can provide the best context for other projects as well. I know that there is this, he mentioned that there is a process like similar to, I guess, the KEP in for Kubernetes. So to define a feature, but I don't know if it's Argo project specific or if it's overarching. So.
Okay.
All right.
Good. So, is that it for today, or is it something else we should note or bring up?
I think that's it. Don't remember right now where we left the discussion with the CNCF app delivery tag.
Right. Yeah, we wrote that
step there.
sometime here. Yeah, we said that collaboration should continue. We should meet again in about a month. I don't know if was there an invite sent out. Let's see, when was this? May 3rd. So beginning of June, there should be a meeting. I'm not sure if there was any invite sent out, was it?
Well, last time we joined this, he did a tag official meeting.
Yeah. And I think it was mentioned in the Slack channel, wasn't it? It seems there was some confusion about the time last time in the discussion with us. So some people that wanted to join didn't because they didn't find it in their calendars.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we should ask if there's a new meeting coming up.
So on June the 7th, it's the next meeting.
You found it in their agenda, their calendar, or
It's in the CNCF calendar. Yes, or no, it's in my calendar. But it's
you said 7th of June?
yeah, it's also on the
No, after the event.
Yeah. It's yeah, it's in the CNCF calendar.
Mhm.
Let's check.
So here's the agenda. Maybe we can see there if there's anything mentioning it there. They seem to have meeting 1st of June. Is it every week then? If they have the 1st of June, that doesn't make sense, does it?
No, I think it's
Maybe
the
wrong.
wrong date.
Yeah, but we were not there on the 17th, but on the way, the one before.
It's probably every other week or so.
Yeah. So here is the CDF Events discussion. So here they were urged to join our meetings, which I don't think have happened since then. Check in again in June for opportunities. So should we propose to them that we join their meeting on the 7th and see if they agree to that?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah, maybe we can follow up on this issue here. Just put the link in the chat.
Oh. Oh, right. Good.
Check in engine for opportunities. Yeah.
Should we write a
And
comment?
yeah, I would just tag Josh there, say, shall we meet again in the on the 7th?
You are writing it, or should I write it?
I can write it. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yep. Good. Perfect. So that might be it for today. Oh, it's sharp
Yeah.
now as well.
It's time.
Good. Thanks for the meeting. And
Thank you.
see you on the TLC meeting tomorrow, I hope.
Yeah.
Yep.
See you there.
See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.